about food offered to idols. We know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge inflates with pride, but love builds up. If anyone thinks he knows anything, he does not yet know it as he ought to know it. But if anyone loves God, he is known by him. About eating food offered to idols, then we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is no God but one. For even if there are so called gods, whether in heaven or on earth, as there are many gods and many lords, yet for us there is one God the Father, from whom we are all things, and we for him, and one Lord, Yeshua HaMashiach, through whom are all things, and we through him. However, not everyone has this knowledge. In fact, some have been so used to idolatry up until now that when they eat food offered to an idol, their conscience, being weak, is defiled. Food will not make us acceptable to God. We are not inferior if we don't eat, and we are not better if we do eat. But be careful that this right of yours is in no way becomes a stumbling block to the weak. For if somebody sees you, the one who has this knowledge, dining in an idol's temple, won't his weak conscience be encouraged to eat food offered to idols? Then the weak person, the brother for whom Messiah died, is ruined by your knowledge. Now when you sin like this against the brothers and wound their weak conscience, you are sinning against Messiah. Therefore, if food causes my brother to fall, I will never again eat meat, so that I won't cause my brother to fall. Am I not free? Am I not an apostle? Have I not seen Yeshua our Lord? Are you not my work in the Lord? If I am not an apostle to others, at least I am to you, for you are the seal of my apostleship in the Lord. My defense to those who examine me is this: don't we have the right to eat and drink? Don't we have the right to be accompanied by a wife like the other apostles, the Lord's brothers, and Cephas? Or is it only Barnabas and I who have no right to refrain from working? Whoever goes to war at his own expense, who plants a vineyard and does not eat its fruit, or who shepherds a flock and does not drink the milk from the flock. Am I saying this from a human perspective? Doesn't the law also say the same thing? For it is written in the law of Moses, do not muzzle an ox while it treads out the grain. Is God really concerned with oxen, or isn't he really saying it for us? Yes, this is written for us, because he who plows ought to plow in hope, and he who threshes should do so in hope of sharing the crop. If we have sown spiritual things for you, is it too much if we reap material things from you? If others share this authority over you, don't we even more? However, we have not used this authority. Instead, we endure everything so that we will not hinder the gospel of Messiah. Do you not know that those who perform the temple services eat the food from the temple, and those who serve at the altar share in the offerings of the altar? In the same way, the Lord has commanded that those who preach the gospel should earn their living by the gospel. But I have used none of these rights, and I have not written this to make it happen that way for me, for it would be better for me to die than for anyone to deprive me of my boast. For if I preach the gospel, I have no reason to boast, because an obligation is placed on me. And woe to me if I do not preach the gospel, for if I do this willingly, I have a reward. But if unwillingly, I am entrusted with a stewardship. What then is my reward? To preach the gospel and offer it free of charge, and not make full use of my authority in the gospel. For although I am free from all people, I have made myself a slave to all in order to win more people. To the Jews I became like a Jew to win Jews. To those under the law, like one under the law, to win those under the law. To those who are outside the law, like one outside the law, not being outside God's law, but under the law of Messiah, to win those outside the law. To the weak I became weak, in order to win the weak. I have become all things to all people, so that I may by all means save some. Now I do all this because of the gospel, that I may become a partner in its benefits. Do you not know that the runners in a stadium all race, but only one receives the prize? Run in such a way that you may win. Now everyone who competes exercises self-control in everything. However, they do it to receive a perishable crown, but we an imperishable one. Therefore I do not run like one who runs aimlessly, or box like one who beats the air. Instead, I discipline my body and bring it under strict control, so that after preaching to others, I myself will not be disqualified.